Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. The sun's shining, as you can see. Normally it's a bit dark because I've been recording them lately in the evening, but it's been recording during the day. I am not working. Wink, wink. Anyway, today's guest is a British wrestler, Troublesome Heart, Joel Jackson. How you doing today, mate? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Little bit annoyed because yesterday, the football, another loss, throwing away top four. I think you know already, Arsenal fan. So, yeah, that was
same, man. Oh, it's been rough. And we had a good week's run there as well. Like, we had the Man U game, Chelsea game.
Yep.
Yeah. And then,
I found myself more annoyed with yesterday's result than I did against Newcastle, if I'll be brutally honest.
Yeah, the Newcastle game was tricky. And to be honest, there was a game, who did we play a couple of weeks back as well?
Was it the Palace one?
Palace, that was it. I wasn't even mad at him because Palace played very well.
Yeah, they did, to be fair.
Vieira's manager there, right?
Yeah. He's
doing a very good job, man. He's done so well with them, so I can't even be mad at it. But yeah, I was gutted just because it was looking so good. It was looking so good. We were on such a hot run, but...
And we lost 3 games in a row, won 3, then lost last 2, and then last game against Everton, who are fighting for survival. I mean, I think they've just got to get a draw, and then they'll stay up, I think, for them. Obviously, in Tottenham, I've only got to get a draw against Norwich, who have already been relegated, who have been, in my opinion, poor, just not good enough. They're one of those teams that are just comfortable to be in the league. They're happy to be there, but relegation or not, that's it. They don't really care. But
they don't get anything. I mean, it would be amazing to see him pull up something special, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Nah, me neither, man. I think so I will wrap the football talk eventually, don't I? But just one last thing. I think even if we do get Champions League football, are we good enough? Do we have the squad depth? Like the crop of players we have at the moment, just maybe setting ourselves to fail, really.
This is kind of what I'm always saying. It's like, for me, we have a good couple of players. Like me, I'm a big fan of Saka. Like Saka's like my guy. Like I love Saka, but I still don't know if I would say like he's like that one player in the team who can change a game the same way like Man U have Ronaldo, which is funny because Ronaldo's in his age now, but he's still the one who turns games around for them. Do you know what I mean? Same way Tottenham has Son, he can change the game. Chelsea have quite a few different players who can change a game. And Liverpool, again, they have one of them. Half of their squad can change a game. So I think we lack those 1 or 2 real star players who can just go in and completely change up a game. So I do think we do need more depth. But we have done a lot better than I thought we was going to do this season. So I'm not mad at it because at the start of this season, I wanted to just quit. Do you know what I mean? Like the start was so bad, and we did pull it back. So I'm
still behind Arteta, if I'll be honest. Like I know I've seen it already on Twitter the past week or so. Arteta out, and I have faith in him considering what he's got given with the squad and all the shit he had with Aubameyang, and he has got rid of the bad players that were toxic, Mustafi, Özil. You know, a few other players, and he has improved some players as well. Like Saka, I think, like you said, I know you're a big fan of him. You just stated, and I like him as well. Smith Rowe, although he has dipped in quality a little bit, but I think injuries hasn't really helped, and squad rotation. He's not started every game.
But for me, he's got the ethos he has, I do like. The only thing is, I don't know if right now where Arsenal is, if it's something that we have enough time to let that grow, because he's got that same kind of ethos that Wenger had of like, bring in a young squad, like bring these young players up and in 5 years we'll be off to the races. And like, that's probably right. And I like what he's trying to do there and the way he plays football. It's just that right now,
but we need those experienced players now. But I mean, no offense to Xhaka and El Neni. I know Neni got given new contracts, but we need game changers. We need goal scorers. And we just don't necessarily have that moment. When we lose, especially this season, we just literally gets to us. We can't bounce back from it. It's no fight. There's just no determination to, get a goal in or whatever. It's just been a bit frustrating, but overall, I'm kind of happy.
It's been tough, but it's going to get tougher because World Cup's around the corner, isn't it? So it's going to be...
yeah, December, man. We've got to watch the World Cup in December. November, December. Like, literally, like Christmas time. Oh, yeah, football's on, by the way.
It's going to be wild. I think we might do very well, though, to be honest.
I like Southgate, by the way. I like him.
I'm a big. I don't really get what the fuss that people have. I know we're going on about football, but we're here now. Like for me, I don't really get what the big fuss about Southgate like isn't very good because all he's ever done is get results.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might not be pretty, it might be a 1-0, it might be a draw, but like we really only took like a penalty loss in that last cup, and like even before that, I want to say,
in the semi-finals.
Well, in the
Against semi-finals? The Euros? No, not Euros. The World Cup against Croatia.
There was the is it the World Cup semi-final against Croatia, and then it was the Euros final with Italy. So that's that's not bad. Like,
but you're telling me, what did Capella do? What did Wenger and Eriksson do? Brian, what's his name? Roy Hodgson. That was depressing. His football. I like Roy a little bit. I got a soft spot for him, but as an England manager, that was torture. Honestly, those games, like that Iceland game, it's one of the worst games I've ever seen.
And you think about the squad back then as well was really of a high quality. Like that squad should have won something.
No excuses, Sven. Honestly, the golden generation is called the players we had.
Yeah, it really was. So for me, what Southgate's doing, I'm happy for it. Like he's brought in a really young squad. They play very well together. We was very unlucky not to win. Like that penalty final, everyone went crazy about. I don't understand it personally because it's penalties. It's the most 50-50 pure chance thing. A lot of penalties is just luck anyway. We just got very unlucky. Like that's all it was.
It can swing either way, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of that game we had, we played very well the whole tournament. So I was very happy with it, really. I would have loved to win, but we got to the final. If you told me that at the start, I wouldn't have thought that. So
I had a sore head in the
morning. He's done very well.
Luckily, I didn't have work. Wait, did I? I can't remember now, man. It was
a long month. I was gutted. It did break my heart. I was literally watching.
Oh, man. That's one thing I like about Saka this season. Obviously, missed a penalty, suffered racial abuse from absolute twats online, cowards, I like to call them. I had this conversation with Lex Rivera, and like he really opened up about it, and we both actually got really angry about it on here, like whilst we're recording. Yeah. But Saka's bounced back and become one of the best players of the season, in my opinion. And maybe I'm biased, okay. But he did get nominated.
Do you know what, though? In all fairness, I don't even know if he bounced back because, I mean, for me, if you look at that World Cup, the Euros, if you look at the Euros, for me, it was Sterling and Saka who really drove that squad. I mean, Harry Kane scored a couple of goals. He wasn't there for a lot of the cup,
he wasn't.
Really. He turned up in the last couple of games and he had incredible people putting him through. He had incredible players. Like, do you know what I mean? For me, without Saka or Sterling, we wouldn't have got that far. They drove us. They were driving the ball, passing it around, knocking it about, getting goals. And then Saka's just gone and done that this season as well. It was gutting for me watching the backlash, and it just kind of shows like a lot of our audience in Britain probably don't even deserve that high level of player.
But they'll be the same people that cheer them, when it comes to club football.
Just stupid stuff. And it was gutted. But also at the same time, if you go about it with like a logical human brain, you can just see this is a very young squad. They're probably not even done penalties on a final stage in their life. And Italy, I think the average age of the Italy player was like 31. They're all seasoned veterans. They've been doing it 10 years. They've gone to finals. They've gone to Champions League finals. Do you know what I mean? So, of course, when it came to penalties, they were probably going to do better because they're more seasoned in that way. That's all it is.
I mean, did he get it wrong with the selection? Yeah, but he's going to learn from it. He's got the young players. He is developing them as well. Like, he's giving them all chances. And, like, Rashford's still young. All right, I've had issues a little bit with Rashford as a player, but that's just my opinion. And I've literally caught backlash from it online. I do like him, but I just don't think he's developed and progressed as far as he should have over the last few years. But I mean, like take him out this conversation. But Sancho, he's still young. Saka, he's still young.
Yeah, I think as well for me, I get what you're saying about Rashford. I would like to see Rashford. I'd like to see a bit more from him. But I don't know. I always had a soft spot for him. I don't know if it's because he did the whole dinners thing.
As a human being, he's amazing. I can't say anything bad about him. Not one negative thing. As a player, I will criticize him a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's why I get slaughtered online. I don't say anything bad. I'm just like, just don't really rate him highly. Oh my God, my Twitter. You know nothing about football. You're a terrible human. I hope he doesn't feed you. People could be so cruel, man. But yeah, no, that's cool. But I'm glad that we've sort of had the football conversation. It's not unusual. Any chance to talk about football in this podcast, I will jump at it, and then I'll sort of. But it's an icebreaker as well. But we'll talk about wrestling as well. That's how I know you from. When did you actually discover wrestling?
When I started training
as a fan, what was your first memory of pro wrestling?
As a fan, I want to say I must have been so young. I must have been only like 1 or not even 1 yet. I remember. I don't know if it was repeats. I remember watching Shawn Michaels, the "I Lost My Smile" promo, and I imagine that must have been a repeat because I was born in '97, and I think that same year, so it must have been a repeat the next year or something. But I remember seeing that. I remember seeing a few things of DX, but I think Shawn Michaels was the first thing I remember getting up in front of the TV and going like, you know what I mean, doing all that. So pretty much. Plus, in my household, I grew up with 2 older brothers, so they all were real big fans of wrestling. So I was very hooked on it straight away. RVD, Jeff Hardy, they were always like my guys. Eddie as well. And then as soon as I watched it, like the spectacle, the story, the athleticism, I was just hooked. It was a done deal. Like,
were you like a jobber for your brothers, by the way? Like, were you there like Crash Pad? They do all the moves. Come on, be honest. Same here.
Like, these guys probably owe me some money because I made these guys look good, man. I was feeding, I was selling real well. Always, and I always got told off. Like, it's actually funny now. One of my best friends, who I grew up with, his family joked to me all the time about it now because whenever I would go around his house, we would wrestle and I'd be jumping from the sofa, I'd be hitting the swanton bomb. I think we broke a couple of their sofas and they were always getting so upset because they knew we loved wrestling.
You're the reason why Don't Try Us at Home came out then.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Literally, I could sit there every day and it'd say, "Don't try this at home," and all my brain heard was, "Go throw a super kick now." Like, I don't know why. It's just that's just the way I want to watch it. But it's funny now because obviously now where I wrestle and I get in the ring and I have my matches, they laugh because it's like, "Oh, you literally used to do this on our sofa in our living room, and now you're doing it in the ring with 6'4" men or whatever it is." It's funny, like. There's been a progression there.
Yeah, so it comes full circle there. That's pretty cool, man. Was there a moment sort of watching wrestling that you was like, I want to do this? Was there a match or a moment? I know you talk about Shawn Michaels, that I'm a Brett fan, so that fake teardrop and where he lost his smile. But was like, what age did you know that you want to do this as a career?
Do you know what? Like, I think what really solidified it was actually a lot later on. Eddie and Ray had a big influence on me because obviously, like, I could watch Shawn, I could watch like Benoit, I could watch some of these really great wrestlers, but I could still tell that these guys were far bigger than me because I'm not a huge. So it was hard for me to relate, and I could watch it and enjoy the spectacle as a kid, but I couldn't see myself ever really trying it. And then when I saw like Eddie, who like to me, although he was 6 foot, he felt smaller, and then Ray, who's legitimately like a really small guy, that gave me a fair bit of belief and made me think like, oh, like guys my size can maybe do it. And then you had the cruiserweights coming in, you had like Dragon, Jimmy Wang.
Juventud Guerrera. Jimmy Wang Yang.
Like, just because this guy was like small and he was doing crazy stuff, and he was a really good wrestler actually.
Oh, he was awesome. Yeah,
Tajiri is one of my favorites as well. And then I think actually it wasn't until years later until Daniel Bryan came in with the first era of NXT, like that first crop with him and
Skip Sheffield and all that. I mean, it's terrible television, but they were stars.
Yeah, like, and that was actually quite a good crop of wrestlers as well. Had like Heath Slater, Wade Barrett, all those guys, and then they had like a ending of their feud at Night of Champions.
That's that's an underrated match, by the way, for the US title.
Incredible match. Like, I remember I've studied that match. I've gone back and watched it loads of times now, but that match out to me of that era because I just never seen a match like that. I just never seen a match where like I remember there's a spot, there's like a clothesline from the top rope, and he takes Miz from who's hanging on the rope, like through with the line. And there's just some wild stuff that I don't think you'd ever seen like an indie style of wrestling done in WWE. And that was the first glimpse of it with Brian. And him, you can see he's legitimately a lot smaller. He wasn't incredibly huge and like jacked to the gills like say Eddie or Chris Benoit was. So I think when I saw him start to like do really, really well, I genuinely was like, oh, like you don't have to be 6'10" jacked to the gills. Like you can just be good. And then obviously I watched this guy's whole career and how well he did and how incredible he was. So yeah, I think when Daniel Bryan coming into WWE is really what started kind of ticking, like the wheels started ticking for me, and like maybe I could try. I don't know. So
I'm glad to hear that. Like Daniel Bryan was an inspiration to you. Like I've done 90+ episodes, and I'm never Eddie Guerrero. I've heard loads of times, and Eddie Guerrero is one of my favorites. I bunked school to meet him in 2005. Woolworths, you'll remember Woolworths. I've said it before, and listeners are probably like, "What the fuck is Woolworths?"
Pick him, mate. I love it.
Oh, right, it was awesome. But Daniel Bryan, I mean, like phenomenal talent. I'm glad to hear that he was an inspiration, you know, for you to become a professional wrestler. What was the school that you went to?
I started off at London School of Lucha Libre. I don't even think they're running anymore. I'm not 100% sure that's right, but I don't think they are. And this was a couple of years back. This was like, I want to say 2018, and I did like a brief couple of months. It must have been like 3 to 6 months period of time. And I really enjoyed it. The trainers there, amazing. The environment there was really good. The people there were really, really, really supportive, really like enthusiastic. Because I obviously like going to a wrestling school for the first time is a weird experience. Like you're expecting to do suplexes off the top rope and like
swanton bomb.
You're doing rolls for like weeks upon end, and then like it's very like wrestling's a very like a super extroverted business, and it's a colorful business. Like the spectrum of different types of people you get is so large, which kind of makes it beautiful and interesting in a way.
Yeah,
but it's so much. Like when I first turned up, I was expecting it to be like, get down and give me 500 push-ups.
Oh, like the power plant stuff, like it just.
Which I'm all for. Like, I'm at all that. Like it'll hurt, but I'll get through it. Like and it was like there was this really like energetic music and stuff, and like everyone's laughing and smiling, and like it's super colorful, and you're rolling and stuff. But like I really enjoyed it. And then I stopped for a long while. I stopped for like about a year, maybe a year and a half, because I had some medical issues where I thought I'd had some damage done to my neck. It turns out I hadn't. But I had to stop for a long time, so I picked it back up 19 with UBW, and then ever since then I've kind of tried to keep it going. Obviously we've had COVID, which you know derailed everyone, so I can't complain too much. It happened to everyone, but I was a bit gutted because it's like my first year in wrestling and my first year of matches. Felt like I was really getting somewhere, and then COVID just came, ripped me away of 2 really good years, and I was like, oh man. But it's come back now, and it's actually I've been loving it. I've been really loving it. So yeah.
Just going to dissect some of what you said. I mean, were you actually able to train in the pandemic, by the way? Because I know it was more strict down here, but I know some places were able to still not necessarily run shows straight away, but they were able to still. I don't know if it was legal or not, but that's a different story. It was tricky. For a long time, I didn't train during the pandemic. Obviously, everywhere was shut. And then at one point, I can't remember the total logistics, but I remember at one point it was said that like you can do sport in a one-on-one environment, like if it's just 2 people, like not a club. Because that was the whole issue. It was that like if you're but wrestling, it's going to be difficult because you had to maintain that social distancing as well whilst you're doing it.
So I managed to use a facility and train there where we did one-on-one stuff for a while, or even just myself, which was quite good. So I did a little bit, but obviously it's just more general maintenance of your body and your fitness and your in-ring shape than it is kind of actually progressing on your in-ring, you know, ability and things like that. But yeah, so I did a little bit, and then obviously when it started picking back up, we had shows. I was getting back on shows, and and then since then it's kind of been off to the races, and things have picked up a lot more for me, and bookings have come more abundantly, and shows have been bigger. And I think fans seem more, I don't know, maybe it's like I don't know, maybe it's me just thinking it, but it feels like fans are like so much more there for it now because it's been gone for so long.
More grateful, appreciate what they've got, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like the live crowds, there's been a lot of crowds where like it's a company that hasn't run the town before, you before, they might not have seen your opponent before, and they're just there. And it's so amazing. Like for me, I'm really appreciative of that because it's just, sometimes you're in the ring and just to go out there and enjoy it and to feel the people is a thing. So yeah, I'm very grateful for all those.
No, it's just like, I know like wrestling, like I like the independent scene, like it was more hot in the south, but I've noticed since the pandemic it's going up to the north as well.
Yeah, do you know what? I noticed that myself because I always thought, I agree, I always thought it felt more hot in the south, and I think that's pure. I think that really revolves because Progress was always the hot thing of British wrestling. Had the biggest names, the best matches, like all the exports and imports and everyone in between, and the signed talent, and it was amazing. And then I think so from anywhere outside of London, it kind of bled from that, and you got some of those names, and that, and you had mansion there, and that knock-on effect. But I think, yeah, you're totally right. Like you hear some crazy workers coming from the north now, and like some crazy matches. There's the whole faction of Northwest Strong who are like, so every single one of them is like a diamond level elite worker. So yeah, there's some really amazing talent up north. That's kind of one of my next goals, is to start trying to get some more work up there. But obviously, you know, it's quite hard to do because logistically I'm like 5-6 hours away. So it's not
an easy journey. But I mean, like you can do absolutely find a show and location. I mean,
but it's definitely picking back up all on the base. I mean, I had to stop and think about it the other day. I was genuinely really appreciative. I think it was the Everything Pattern 2, and it was like, if you looked at the talent on that show, it was wild. You had like Jonathan Gresham on there, and then like their back match, and everyone in it is like a really high level talent as well. You just had some wild names. I think Anthony Ogogo came in for that one. Like you had just abundance of stars.
Was that the first Progress show with crowds? Because I know they were doing shows during the pandemic, but I think that might have been.
It was. I feel like it might have been.
Yeah.
It took me back almost because I remember looking at one of the matches. It was like, I think it was. I don't know if I remember everyone, but it was like Man Like Darius, Malik. I think Roy Johnson was in it. Maybe no. I don't think
Roy better know. Got a soft spot for him.
It was like just Dan Maloney. Like it was a load of young talent. Like in this match, and then like it hit me that every single one of these people were like a minority background, and I was like, wow, that's incredible, because you never would have seen that. Like even maybe a couple. Like, so it really kind of took me back. Actually, I didn't even realize, because I just saw like, oh, this is like a really great match. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, wow, like everyone in that match, like is ethnic, which is really cool. Like, so I remember, and then to realize that you had like Jonathan Gresham on the same show, like who's obviously a world renowned talent. He could probably anyone on the planet and be at the same level as them in terms of like just pure in-ring technician. Yeah. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet right now. So yeah, the scene has really sparked up. You had Swerve coming over as well to wrestle.
Congrats, that's my birthday then. I was tempted to go to that show. I never really noticed it until you said that, man. Like for someone that used to go to like, a lot of Rev Pro shows and other independent shows as well. Now that you've said it, and like I follow like social media and stuff, and it's a really good show. There's more representation from white culture as well. I'm not saying that every show was just it's all there.
Sorry,
that's all right. I'm just saying. I'm not saying like every show like didn't have any person was every show is all white people. I'm not just saying that, but it's just something I've noticed over the years. Like, wow, yeah, this is cool actually.
It's taken some time for sure. I think. I think when I first broke in, like it was predominantly like a industry full of like white men and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. Like I'm sure they all worked for it. That's not. I'm not saying. It's just that obviously, like, there's also people who have worked equally as hard who aren't. And so, like, But it was kind of amazing because there was that whole Twitter thing about we want everything to like be better. We want more representation of, you know, ethnic. We want more representation of LGBT. We want this, that, and the other. And like a part of me watched that and I did support it. And I was kind of a bit like, we'll see, because, you know, everyone on Twitter always like wants to put things out there and say,
but actually doing something about it is different.
It's completely different and rare. But yeah, it really, if you look at progress, like, and it's not like I'm not like favorable more so to them than anyone else. It's just that for me, they are probably one of the leading British brand thing. You know, they've got ties to WWE, and they're a huge name. If you look at the shows that they're putting out, the representation is amazing. Like it's diverse. It's incredible. It's so diverse. It's probably the most diverse of any company that I've seen, which just makes it that much better because you know that they've got ties to WWE and stuff. And the guys who are main event in there, it's really wild, man. Like it's progressive. It's progressive. Yeah, no, it's good to see though. Genuinely, it's really good to see, and I think it's had a knock-on effect around the country. Like cards nowadays seem to be far more, you know,
open, just not exclusive. Just open it. It is for everyone. That's what it should be.
And it's funny as well because wrestling is such a diverse like fan base. Like if you look at this, it is the most different type of people you'll ever see in your life. Because I know people who are like road men and stuff like that, and they love wrestling. They just always. Then I know people who are like probably never left their mum's house in the last 70 years or whatever. And then, you know what I mean? But you get such a big fan base. Like, it's so many different types of people.
It's like the Land of the Misfits, isn't it? It's just like, it's just, oh my God, so many characters in the wrestling, not just the industry, but just the entire
different whatever they're into and everything. And you get like comic fans, you get metalheads, you get all types of different people who like wrestling. So it's nice to see that the actual cards and the wrestlers themselves kind of display that, because now you're like, for every fan you have, or like the little 5-year-old, there's always someone they can idolize and like have a hero and stuff, which is what it's really about, I think. No, I agree with you on that one. I just want to go back to I think because you talked about the training aspects, but I actually want to talk about your debut, and it's just become a bit of a theme on the show where a lot of wrestlers will talk about their debuts, and I think it's quite interesting, it's quite funny as well. I just want to talk about your official wrestling debut. One, did you have any of your friends or family there? I didn't tell him. I don't think I did at all. No.
Fair enough. And how do you think it went? Be honest. How do
I think I went? My first match. What are we saying? Like first ever match in a ring,
first
or like
match in a ring?
In the ring.
Yeah.
In a ring, it would have been a rumble. And to be honest, I didn't really have. I don't think it went well. There was like no crowd work whatsoever. I probably didn't even really recognize the crowd was there. I think I was like 15, 16 of a rumble. You come in, get thrown out, jump in, welcome to the business.
Yeah.
Enjoy your shot, kids, sort of thing.
No swanton bombs.
Yeah. Jokes aside, actually, everyone was really welcoming and everyone was really warm, but I wasn't doing, and I was in there. I think I threw a drop kick or two, which got like a tiny bit of a pop, but I didn't really work the crowd in any way. I was in the wrong uniform. I was wearing like leggings instead of tights. I didn't have the right boots, so I must have looked terrible. I used to have a blonde streak in my man bun, so just everything.
What happened to that, by the way? I do remember seeing that. What happened?
During COVID, I just looked in the mirror and I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, I just thought, wrestler or not, like this is just like you look like you need to look like a man. So I just cut it off, and I was like, I'm done with the. But now I miss the man bun, so go figure. But
I really look quite cool, man. If I'll be honest, I mean, someone who's trying to grow the hair out at the moment. I won't show it at the moment because it looks awful. But I thought it was cool. That's something different. You can use it really good for heel heat as well. Just like
What logistically it actually come down to a fact of when I was in a match, it would just always come out, and it used to how people wrestle with long hair in front of their face, or like I don't know what these guys are doing. I know some people wet their hair. It's just, for me, it's so annoying. Like, if I'm in a match and the hair comes down and my hairbands come out, it would just really distract me. And it just came down to a logistic. Like, if I had short hair, I'd never have to worry about this.
I'm so glad you pointed that out. As a fan, like, I've wondered that, like here and there, but to hear it from a wrestler, like, actually say, you know what, having long hair actually wound me up. It got in my eyes, and I think I think it was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a mark, but it's long hair allows them to communicate easier, so the fans can't see their face. I don't know how true that is. Probably bollocks.
There probably is there's a couple of upsides to it, because on a visual sense, if you get blocked in a match and your hair goes, like, it looks great. Like, because obviously you can see, like, it's easier to understand that person's been hit. Yeah, I think there probably is a case of, if you've got long hair and it's down and stuff, especially like if you're both on the floor, it's probably an easier level of communication. But also, I think, like, if you think to when we all grew up watching wrestling, like, say the 90s or the 80s, like, or the 70s, or like 2000s, early 2000s, everyone had like these really cool, long, ridiculous man buns and long hair. So it kind of suits the look of a wrestler. It's just, for me, logistically, every time I had a match, my hairband will pop out. It's in the middle of the ring somewhere. Now I've got to go find it. Then the guy's calling the next spot to me. I'm too busy trying to get my it didn't completely go to off the rails. Like, and it just got to a point. It was hard maintenance. Long hair's maintenance. You got to shower.
It is. I've had it before. Literally brushing out as well.
Brushing it out. Oh, just, it's so time consuming. Like, I respect for anyone who has long hair, because you don't see the hours they're putting in shampoo, condition, some other stuff to keep it nice, comb, however they're drying it. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I can relate to you, man. 100%. 100%. I mean, I've not had it proper long for a long time, but when I did, especially with thick curly hair, oh my God, I'd actually have teardrops coming out my eyes each time I brush it. Like, didn't think we talk about it on the podcast, but I thought I'd share it for the listeners and share it to you as well. There is one thing I want to talk to you about. Oh, sorry, mate, what are you saying?
There's someone out there right now who's related like me too. Like,
I thought it was just me. There is one thing I want to talk about, actually. It was the Batman. I spoke to you about it earlier in the year. When it came out, I think we both enjoyed it. The reason I mentioned it, I mean, it's probably one of the best films of the year so far, and I think it will continue to make more money as well now it's out on streaming devices. But I want to ask you, how would you rank the Batman films overall?
Wow. Do you know what? That is one of the best questions I've ever had. And
thank you.
That is a good one. And I like, right, what? Are we saying the whole, are we saying like
no
Schumacher?
animations? No animations. Like Schumacher, Burton, Nolan, Snyder's what? You can include Snyder if you want, but if you want to leave him off, because I would include the Justice League.
Batman's in it, so it's technically a Batman film.
Yes.
For me, okay, I'm going to have to go top down, because otherwise it'll be... Okay, number one is going to have to be Christian Bale's Dark Knight. Ledger. I just think it's just like that. That's
changed everything.
Like, yeah, that's beyond comic. Like, that turned comic book movies into like really profitable business, and also like, I can watch that film, and she's not even like a huge comic book fan, but just an incredible film with incredible performances. Obviously, Hill and the villain is so good. The narrative is very good. Yeah, there's some great performances. You get to see Two-Face as well, which
he's brilliant, but I feel bad because he's not going to get the credit he deserves because of Heath Ledger as the Joker. Yeah. Not to say he was bad, but he was brilliant as well. He was mesmerizing.
So outshined, because Heath Ledger did like one of the best performances of all time. So
yeah, not just comic book, one of the best performances.
100% is like Al Pacino's and so under that, I would say this Robert Pattinson, just gone. I think the story was like that's actually my favorite Batman story on film, because it was really well told. Like, it was a real detective story. Riddler's one of my favorite villains. Got a Riddler tattoo there. So like, Riddler's one of my... Yeah, I love the Riddler. I don't know why. I like the concept. You got to see Penguin in it, which was amazing.
Colin Farrell, the makeup and the voice. Oh, it was amazing.
didn't even look like him. It was amazing. The woman who played Catwoman, I think, is Zoe Kravitz. She was really good.
She was brilliant.
Yeah, like it was cool because it felt like to me an actual Batman comic. Like it felt like, you know, when you read the comics, like you get all the rogues gallery in it, but it's not like they're the main villain. They're just inside the story. The Gotham felt so real as well, and it's very like dark, and I don't know, it just felt the most realistic Batman of all of them. So I really, really enjoyed it. And then going further down, this is when it gets muddy. It would be the other two Dark Knights. You could put them in either kind of. So Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. They're definitely up there. Obviously, Christopher Nolan watched it.
It's an unpopular opinion, by the way, but I think Dark Knight Rises is a little bit overrated. I'm sorry. I just think it is. I think it's a bit of a mess as a film.
It's not that good, but I like Tom Hardy. I did like Bane.
He's good at Bane. I liked him, but I thought like the twist as well. Actually, if there's someone who hasn't seen it, I won't go into too much detail, but there's a twist. I didn't really like that. Robin execution was a bit shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't. The Robin thing made no sense. The twist at the end was kind of poor.
Yeah.
And stuff in that film, which is just like really, it went, oh, that worked out perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a bit
convenient. Yeah.
The Batman Begins is really good, actually. I think that's actually one of the
brilliant. That's really good.
And then Snyder's Batman. So Batman vs Superman for me does suck a lot, to be honest, but not because of Ben Affleck, because I actually think Ben Affleck had a really good Batman, and I think he actually could do an incredible Batman. And on a visual look sense, he looked the most like comic booky Batman ever. It's just that I don't know if it's
sorry, Lex Luthor can fuck right off. Jesse Eisenberg, whatever his name is. Oh my god,
that was so bad. I don't know who put him as like, he's just the most he's not Lex Luthor.
So what he was doing, like the Riddler mixed with like the Social Network, the film mixed with like Heath Ledger's Joker, it was a mess.
The only way I would have had him, Jesse Eisenberg, as a villain is maybe like have him play like Mad Hatter or something. Like he's not like Bryan Cranston, someone like that.
It would have been brilliant.
They were gonna. Apparently, there were talks to try and get him as well.
Was that when Ben Affleck was going to do the solo Batman film?
Yeah. Because they were gonna like have it that he was the dad. Because I think they made Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was like the son in that.
Yeah.
Like because there's like a throwaway line where he's like Alex Luthor. He's not actually like. Yeah, he's not the Lex Luthor. So I don't know. But yeah, those films were a mess and the story was bad. And then, okay, this is where it gets tricky, I think. Because I actually have a weird love for the not the Schumacher one. Tim
Burton ones. The first two.
No, actually, yeah, you'd have to put Jack Nicholson in there. And Michael Keaton. Yeah. Okay, we'll put them.
Yeah.
This is when it gets tricky because now it's like degrees of bad.
I like that.
But some of them are bad. I kind of enjoy them. Like, to be honest, the Val Kilmer Riddler Two-Face sucks. Like, it's terrible. It's so bad, but it's quite enjoyable watching.
I really like it. I'm sorry, I disagree with you a little bit. I think because it's one of the first Batman films I watched. Like I watched the other one, but I'd watched them after. That was probably the first live action film I watched, and I remember. And I loved it. Soundtrack, the game, and it's brilliant, man. I mean, I watched it as an adult, and I think Two-Face is just all it plays. But Jim Carrey's the Riddler is really good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like it's so ridiculous. Like it's so over the top. But actually, Val Kilmer's Batman's not bad. Alfred's good. Yeah, Jim Carrey's Riddler is ridiculous. But yeah, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I really enjoyed it. Robin, that's actually
he's good.
That's the best Robin we've seen in Batman so far. I actually really liked him. But yeah, and I would say it goes Val Kilmer, then
Mr. Clooney.
Yeah, Clooney. And at the bottom, I'd put the second one with Keaton and Penguin. I just really don't like that second. Yeah. I don't like that second Tim Burton one.
You're going to piss some nerds off today.
Nah, because Penguin doesn't need to be a literal penguin. Like it's so stupid. And even like everyone gets a boner over Michelle Pfeiffer. But okay, once I'm over like 13 and I'm no longer like getting a boner over Michelle Pfeiffer, it's not a very good performance. And like the film is not great either.
You are
like,
a brave man, Joel. You are a brave man. You chose violence today with your comments.
I'm not a big fan of that second burn. I'm really not like, and then I'm because you know what? The Joel Schumacher films are completely terrible. They are, but they are enjoyable for how bad they are. Like there's Mr. Freeze is terrible. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Arnold yeah. It's going to be ice.
The Ice Edge.
Yeah. Like, you can have fun with those films. Like, I can still. Whereas that first one with the penguin is no fun at all. Like, it's too dark.
This is the first time, not just on the podcast, online, wherever in life, I've actually heard someone say that the Joe Schumacher films are better than Batman Returns. I can't believe you're saying this. Straight face. It's still early days. You've not been drinking. Oh my man, you are brave.
To be fair, the first Tim Burton film's like really high up there, 100%.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Like that's. But yeah, the second one, for me personally.
No, but I love that you've actually explained as well why you don't like it. You're not just gone at shit.
Yeah, it's just for me. I like the Schumacher ones. They're silly. I watched them growing up, and like if you don't take it too seriously, you can kind of enjoy them for what they are. But they are still terrible. I will absolutely say that.
I don't hate. Hate is a strong word. They are terrible, but they do make me laugh still in 2022. I may or may have not watched Batman and Robin again. It's so bad, but I love it. It's
yeah, you can have a good laugh. Like the Bane is ridiculous. Mr. Freeze.
I thought he looked cool, man. Like, I mean, that was some wrestler. I can't remember, Chief Swanson or something.
To be fair, I'm actually really interested to see a proper adaptation of Bane. Like, because obviously that one was a bit jokey.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hardy was good, but it's not Bane really.
No.
But I know they're saying they want to get Batista for Bane.
I mean, good casting.
So perfect, yeah. I think he would smash that. I think he's actually really good as well. So
he's a good actor.
Yeah,
I'm happy that he's actually cracked Hollywood. I know like Austin couldn't do it, Triple H couldn't do it, and I think there was a bit worried because Batista, I think, did that really shit film with Rob Van Dam. I can't remember what it's called. Wrong Side of Town, straight to DVD. It's really bad. Guys in the Galaxy. That was the rest is history.
Yeah, he's good. I actually think, for me, he's probably a better actor than The Rock is, just because I think The Rock is a bigger character and will always be a bigger box office name.
Yeah.
But The Rock has
plays himself, man.
Which an amazing character.
Yeah.
But like it's The Rock. Whereas Batista, every role I've seen him in, he does play a different character and he plays it well.
Yeah.
So
I think Batista's much more diverse than The Rock. I think The Rock just got that charisma that many few in life will have. Like, it's just unique. But I actually watched Red Notice the other day, and I thought it was not very good. And I was just like, it's just another Rock film, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas Batista, I've seen him. He's done. Obviously, he does his big action roles of like Guardians.
Yeah.
But he's was he in this? No, they didn't put him in the Suicide Squad again, did they? But
No.
There's another action film he's in where he's like in a hospital. He plays like a nurse, and he has to go around and.
Have you seen the film with him? It's Pierce Brosnan. It's actually based in Olympic Stadium, West Ham's ground, and it's basically there's a bomb there, and they have to.
I haven't seen that, but I keep seeing it.
It's really good. It's really good. I was surprised. I was like, so this is gonna be shit. Saw the poster, and I was like, hang about, this is actually really good. I really like this.
I do really want to see that. The ones I really liked of him was Blade Runner 2049. I think he was
boring film in the world. Sorry. I just don't get Blade Runner. You've had your piece about Batman Returns, Blade Runner.
What? Yeah. What? Both?
Yep, I think they're most boring. I watched them though, just to tick it off.
Yeah.
Boring. The cure for insomnia. They are.
They're not for everyone because they're very slow. Like.
They're slow and they're taking the piss.
It's more visuals and stuff. I like it because my mum grew up watching those. So
yeah, my brother loves them.
sentimental, but like, yeah, I really like Batista in Blade Runner 2049 and in June.
I haven't seen that yet. I've heard that's brilliant.
June's really good. Again, it's quite a slow film, to be honest. Like,
is it slower than Blade Runner?
Yeah, it genuinely is. It's like 3 hours, and it's
gonna hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't think you'll like it, to be honest. Let me know, because I would like.
I'll send you a message like I did about Batman, and I'll let you know how much I hate it. But you might be surprised.
Batista's good in it though. Like, he's really good. Like, he's like one of like the main henchmen and stuff. He looks massive.
I will watch that because I'm a bit film buff and I like it. It's one of those films I just want to tick off.
Same.
But I'm glad that Batista even got a spot in James Bond, Spectre, one of the bodyguards.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible though. He was good. I like Batista in it, but the film itself, not very good.
Yeah, I don't. Some of those last Bond films, I'm not sure how I feel. Like, certainly, what was the very last one with Remy?
Oh, no Time to Die.
I don't know how I felt about that. Like, the opening really good, but then in the middle and the ending, it kind of fell off a bit. But like, there's some great.
Could have been a bit shorter, in my opinion. I thought I liked the female 007. She was wicked.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
There's only one bit I hated though. You know, she kills the Russian scientist, and she's like, "No time to die." I was like, you were doing so well. You could have fucking done without that line.
Still on the nose. It's forced.
And it's just like, oh, come off it. But no, I think the last one was, I thought, like, I liked it personally, but I know some people hated it. It. And I think Spectre was shit. Skyfall's good. It's good. I liked it. I didn't think it was a masterpiece.
I still think Casino Royale was the best of them, though.
I think it's the best Bond film ever done, in my opinion.
What, Bond?
I'm not going to get you to rank the Bond films because that'll take way too long.
Long time. I'd be here. But I'll probably agree with you for now, because a lot of those Bond films are like, I don't even remember, man, before Casino Royale, to be honest.
Some of them I've had to rewatch because I watched a lot of them as a kid. I just don't remember them. Like, I couldn't tell you. I rewatched Tomorrow Never Dies because a lot of I think they're all on Amazon Prime now. And I was like, I don't remember this. And I know I've seen it. I don't VHS. Just didn't remember it.
Yeah, I can remember like briefly Piers Brosnan skiing down a mountain, crashing in a plane, but that's about it. I don't really.
Oh no, that's cool, man. No, there's been some interesting chats so far. I mean, I'll win the chat. I think asking about Batman was pretty cool to rank them. So I'll ask you another question because I know you're quite into your superhero films. I heard from other interviews that you did as well. So if you could pick one superhero to be your tag team partner, so I mix it with the wrestling as well, in case there's some listeners out there. Like, any wrestling talk? Wrestling talk now, so shut up. Yeah, if you could pick one superhero you could pick to be your tag team partner, who'd you pick? And you have to give a reason as well. It's got to make sense.
That's a hard question, man. To be my tag team partner. Do you know what?
But there's rules. The rules still apply. So you can't choose Superman because he'd end up killing the opponent. Yeah, evaporate the opponent.
Do you know what? It would probably be Juggernaut.
Oh, man, I love it.
Because our tag team, like, he could throw me. He could throw me at the opponents. Like, our tag teams would be wicked. I could jump off his shoulders. He can just pick me up, use me as a baseball bat and stuff. But if it was like me and Wolverine, we'd probably just get to step on each other's toes. I'd love to tag Wolverine, but
you'd be doing all the work, and I find myself, he'd have a cigar in the corner and just making jokes because he'd be getting fed up.
Yeah, and then he's just going to come in, take all the glory and stuff. And I thought about Moon well, but Moon Knight's got too much going on, man. Like, you don't know what this is. Do you know what I mean? He might help you. He might just bugger off. Like, do you know what I mean? He don't even know what he's doing. So, it's a trick.
I was worried, by the way, just before we do end the show, I was worried we was never going to get a good Juggernaut because in like X-Men Last Stand, like I like Vinnie Jones, he's all right, but he was not Juggernaut. What the fuck was that about? But Deadpool, it was brilliant.
It was really, I was surprised by that as well because I didn't really hear anything about it. But yeah, I was really happy with that because it looked exactly what you'd want it to be from. Like, I don't know if you saw the cartoon, like maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's brilliant, cartoon.
It was perfect. It was literally, for me, it was really good. The only thing is, I would like to. I don't know who the actor was, but
I can't remember the voice, but he's brilliant.
Yeah, you got. I think that's the only way you can do it as well. Like Hulk, Juggernaut, you have to just make it like all CGI, because if you're trying to get like a realistic version, like it's not going to happen. Like Vinnie Jones was in a muscle suit in that film.
I know. I remember seeing the first image. I was like,
yeah, look ridiculous. Like he's supposed to be like of a human being. So it was cool. Hopefully he comes back though, because I'm a big fan of Juggernaut.
Yeah, same, man. I do hope we get a third Deadpool, man. Last question, and it's just to basically ask you about the future, what you got lined up next. So is there anything you've got lined up next that you want to talk about, or anything you want to plug on What Do You Call It podcast?
Yeah, wicked. So I've got a few bookings coming up soon for next month. I know dates I wish I was better with. I want to say June 19th. I've got some booking at Sacrifice, where it's going to be a fatal 4-way final for the Coburn Cup. So yeah, tune into that, get some tickets. And then also I want to say 26th of June for UBW Wrestling as well. So if you can tune into those and try and get them tickets and support. And yeah, if you want to catch me up my Instagram, it's Troublesome _ follow that. And then I think my Twitter is the same as well. And then Facebook is just Jackson Hart. So yeah.
Awesome, wicked. Bro. I'll put the details in the description below, and the listeners can find you on social media. Thank you for coming on, mate. I know you've been quite busy, and we sort of like missed each other, but we've got this awesome. I can't believe even Batman Returns to worst Bat. Sorry, so, that's gonna play my mind all fucking day now. Like whilst I'm editing, it's like, do I actually keep this film? I'm actually just gonna tweet that. Just about someone who actually said Batman Returns to the worst Batman film ever made. What the fuck? But that's cool. You've explained the reason why, and I love that. You've given your reason. I don't agree with it, but that's everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm gonna
get cancelled.
Probably, mate. I wouldn't stop them from doing it. No, I'm joking.
It is what.
Nah, that's cool, man. Thank you for coming on, mate. For everyone that's listened to this episode, thank you. There'll be more episodes of What You Call It podcast coming out this week. Actually, I shall have another episode out on Thursday and an episode on Sunday evening. I'm a busy boy. Plus, I've got nothing else to do. I'm lonely. No, I'm joking. But if you can, subscribe to this channel, it will mean a lot. So I can have more guests on as well and dedicate more time to this. I know that's worth it, that there are people that are enjoying this content. But for more episodes of What You Call It podcast, see in the description below and find out as well. Follow me on Twitter, find me on streaming devices as well. You'll see it there in the description. But for now, everyone, take care. Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
It's me. It's that sweet KDG, your Music City Messiah, Caden Green, and I will be on the What Is It podcast. So check it out on YouTube and all your favorite streaming services.
Yeah, I heard. Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
The CCW World Heavyweight Champion, the greatness himself, Darion Drummond,
is going to be appearing on What Do You Call It podcast. You heard.